coming off an excellent NFC Championship game, but facing a Patriots defense that has allowed a total of 26 points in 3 playoff games. Last 2 seasons, Darnold.
This was coach's thing. He
Doesn't
have mediocre games.
No, he's either rolling or being rolled. Nothing, as Hubs calls, mid.
Wow.
23 games in the hundreds, only 1 in the 90s, 4 in the 80s, and 9 in the 70s or worse. So do we think Darnold is going to thrive against this Patriots defense?
To me, it comes down to how well they run the ball. So if they can actually effectively run the football and it becomes 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, those types of things, that to me is where Darnold becomes the biggest problem. Because once they do that, they have all the plays where off the running game, they're pulling them out of the pocket, and that opens things up and it creates movement and pressure on the defense that way. Then it also slows down the pass rushers, and it does set up the play action shots. All those things are built off the running game, but if New England does a good job, which I anticipate they will do a good job, now the 2nd and 8s, you got to get back on track. There's more drop back passing. Now, as those formations stop becoming compact formations and they're more spread formations, New England's ability to pressure, New England's ability to disguise, New England's ability to do multiple things increases dramatically. So slowing down that running game, I don't think they're going to totally eliminate it, but slowing it down and not letting that control the game will determine how well they can affect Darnold.
Yeah, I picked earlier, Coach. I picked the Patriots to win the game, so I don't see them thriving. Now, I don't see a meltdown, but it looks like he doesn't have much in that middle. I was kind of thinking he'll be in that middle.
Excuse me.
But I did predict like 2 turnovers. Maybe one's a fumble, maybe one's an interception. I just think they're going to be able to disguise stuff, as you said, confuse him a little bit, and get a little bit of pressure on him. We know he struggled at times with pressure. And we've talked about how he's played well lately. He's played better than Drake May in the playoffs. He didn't obviously have to do much against San Francisco. Threw for like 120 yards, 1 touchdown. It was such a blowout. And we know what he did in the NFC Championship game. But these were his last 4 regular season games. So it's not like, taken as a whole, it's not like he's been on fire for the last 2 or 3 months. He was struggling or playing mediocre and then didn't have to do much against the Niners and was great 2 weeks ago. So I think he could struggle and have just a mediocre game, which I think opens the door for the Patriots.
So I picked 27-17 Seattle. So I obviously think Darnold's going to have a level of success. My prediction is not, though, that Darnold's going to carve up the Patriots defense. Mm-hmm. But if I can tweak the question a bit, and I'm sure you disagree with me, KW, I think if Darnold is, by a considerable margin, more likely to have an awesome game than Drake is. I think that the numbers on young quarterbacks against Mike Macdonald are jarring. And that, this dates back, this graphic I'm going to show you doesn't date back to his time in Baltimore, but it did apply to his time in Baltimore. Nobody has success against Mike Macdonald's defense. Go ahead,
I want you
KW.
to walk through it, and then I have a question.
No, we had a graphic earlier in the week. We didn't bring it back today, but it was the 8 quarterbacks of any age, the first time they played this Mike Macdonald defense, dating back to his time in Baltimore to now. And while the record is better than 1-9, obviously, the numbers are not that dissimilar. It's 16 points a game. It's really, really tricky. Now, Coach, you mentioned off the air the one injury that's taken place this week is the Seahawks kind of rover, jack of all trades safety, rookie Nicky Manwari, who turned his ankle 2 days ago. If he were out, I think that's potentially catastrophic for Seattle. The word from them is so nonchalant, and his visible limp got so much better in just 1 day that I think that injury is probably not a huge factor. While I can concede the point that because of his history and because we have seen it this season 1.5 times, maybe 2 times, that the meltdown game is more likely for Darnold. I also think the awesome game is more likely for Darnold, given who they're playing against.
Yeah, I don't see an awesome game, and I hope I don't see a meltdown game just because it's been such a nice story. I don't want to see a guy crumble. I also, if you crumble so much, all of a sudden the Patriots defense doesn't get any credit, like in the Texans game. Yeah, guy melted down. What are you supposed to do? Here's my other favorite Patriots defensive graphic. In a single postseason, and again, this has got a little bit of Jarrett Stidham to it, but I think, the previous graphic had a little bit of Max Brosmer to it. In the single postseason, under 10 points and 12 or more sacks. Look, it's hard for me to even imagine the Patriots group being with these guys. That being said, that's what the numbers are.
But those
Herbert had 3,
C.J.
CJ
turnovers
Stroud
too. There's another pretty impressive.
12 sacks. And whatever you want, like the one thing I know we talked a lot about the snow and we talked a lot about Jarrett Stidham. The Broncos' offensive line was supposed to be top notch.
Yeah.
And if you want to say quarterback, sacks or a quarterback sack, Milton Williams going through those guys. So I could see that happening again. It's seeing a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold. Again, I hope he doesn't have a meltdown game, but I think it's going to be difficult for him.
The only thing I'll say about that graphic, because there's another graphic about like fewest points per game allowed in a playoff run, there is a much longer list of teams who going into a Super Bowl have put up, have allowed these single-digit points per games, and then didn't do that in the Super Bowl, so they're off. They're off the graphic.
Yeah.
Like that 2000 Ravens team, then in the Super Bowl allowed 7 points, and it was on a kick return touchdown. Right. The 85 Bears, they beat you guys 35-3.
That was a rough game.
And so that what is fair is if they do that in the Super Bowl, then even if they are not, that caliber of defense, they're on the list with them. But they are also, they allow, I can do the math at the top of my, like 22 points in this game, which isn't a huge number, and they're no longer on that graphic.
Quickly, Coach, we knew that the Patriots' plan in Denver was like, man, if we get to 10 points, this game is over. Do you think, and we've been like, I think Drake May is going to do well, but do you think Vrabel is so confident in this defense? Like, man, we get to 17, this game is over. Because according to this graphic, that's like, we're the 2000 Ravens, we're the 85 Bears. Or do you think it's more of an aggressive mindset for?
I mean, when you watch what Seattle was able to do against the Rams and some of the things that they were able to overcome, and having the comeback that they had in that was it the second game? Yeah, that was pretty impressive. They've moved the ball pretty effectively against some quality teams. So going in with the mindset of, hey, if we hit this number, you may think it, but you're not really sure. And the other thing that is a counterbalance to that is, how well is Drake May going to respond? Are we going to have a bunch of turnovers? Or, there's that other side of it, because it's not like your offense has really been humming, and you put the defense in some bad spots throughout the playoffs.
I think there is a decent chance that now maybe both quarterbacks play a clean game, but I think there's a decent chance for both of these players that if whoever turns it over first has a really rough next hour of football. That for Darnold, the history of his whole career, really, you know what I mean? Yep. For Drake, being this young and his history of just this playoffs, having, you know what I mean, being loose with the ball and having rough spots, that if in the Super Bowl there's a first quarter strip sack or tipped pass interception, even if it's just unlucky, I could see it snowball. Hell, it snowballed on Patrick freaking Mahomes in his fifth Super Bowl as a minted all-time legend. It can snowball on it.
I think that Drake May, though, has the advantage if things happen early, because when you're young like that and don't have the scar tissue that Sam Darnold has, then you don't know any better. And having Josh there on the sidelines, they were down 28-3 in a game that he coached, to be able to kind of bring him back to balance. And I also think Mike Vrabel, having the player perspective and having had been in that moment as a player, will do a really good job too if things go a little bit south. I just don't know who who that life vest is for Sam Darnold on the Seattle sideline if things go south.
All right, talking about MVP, here's the list of favorites. It's the quarterbacks are at 1 and 2. JSN, Kenneth Walker at 3 and 4. Then Ramondre, Raheed Shaheed. And we've got 3 Patriots in a row. And then Emin Wari at 10, but he's dealing with an injury. I'm surprised those odds didn't move even further south. Brew, you kicked around your Brew's ballot, but who's your dark horse MVP? It's not on this list.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the guy I said earlier, Cooper Kupp. If he can have a big game as a number 2 receiver because they're paying so much attention to JSN, he's already been a Super Bowl MVP. He hasn't had huge stats in these playoffs, but he's had some big catches for them. His problem lately, last few years, just been, has he been available? I think he's still a very good receiver. So I could see him having a big game and being like a security blanket for Darnold if JSN is covered. And so he's my guy.
Yeah, I went with Kayshon Boutte.
Oh.
And my thought process with it, it's interesting, as the playoffs have gone on, his catches have gone down, but his targets have increased, which is counterintuitive, but it looks like over the course of the season, he can get hot. He can get hot in terms of his production, and we've already seen the one dramatic catch in the playoffs. So to me, I think he's still going to get targeted quite a bit. I think he gets hot, gets a few catches early, catches fire, and then maybe has one big game-changing play.
It would be pretty weird, Brew, if the Super Bowl MVP came from the losing team, bro.
No, I know. I'm not counting on it.
I feel like you're hedging a little bit.
No, I'm just saying.
No, listen, I'm all for it.
pick,
I think there's a lot of instances across a lot of sports where the MVP should come from the losing team. So I disagree with your rule that it has to be someone not on our graphic. Like
So we went down to 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think anybody the 2 quarterbacks, the 2 starting running backs, and JSN are the trendy favored picks. Yeah. Anybody else I would consider a dark horse candidate. So I'm going with a guy who I think can score points without anyone else getting the stats for it, and that's Raheed Shaheed.
Yeah.
So Raheed Shaheed can have a big punt return. Yep. The problem for Cooper Kupp, even though he's done it, or JSN, is receiving yards also help the quarterback's chances. Raheed Shaheed, we have seen him bust big plays in special teams and on end arounds. And so I also, oddly, if we're really trying to dig into how this would happen, some of his rushes are actually passes. They're just, lateral, so the quarterback doesn't get credit for those stats. Like, he's more likely to pop a 40-yard run that was actually a catch, but it goes down in the books as a run. And so I can see that. Like, Raheed Shaheed, one down the field catch, a couple runs that account for 40, 50 yards, a big punt return or kick return, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, all-purpose yards, Raheed Shaheed is 200 and some. That would be the path for him. I wanted to go, and I might actually make the bet of 3 different Seahawks D linemen to see if any one of them could have the Von Miller game.
Wow.
Whether it's Leonard Williams or Tank Lawrence or Mafe, just somebody that can just keep whooping a Patriots O-line and have a couple strip sacks. It's hard to key on who that would be because they don't have a Von Miller.
But if you liked Milton Williams, I wonder if Milton Williams has any momentum from the last Super Bowl. It's like, hey, remember me from the last Super Bowl?
I was 2 sacks on Patrick Mahomes. He had the strip sack.
And he recovered it.
So right, the illegal punch to the face that we had to watch all offseason.
That's true. That actually should have been called.
Yeah.
All right, it's time now for a segment so hot, it's smoking hot, okay? It's a very hot segment. It's time for Upset Alert. We have made our picks already. Nick is going Seahawks, Brew and I with the Patriots. Coach, we're going to get...
You and Brew both would get 7.5 points.
Oh,
yeah.
Patriots
are 4.5 point dogs. Now, unfortunately for you, there is no scoring. It doesn't matter if Coach won everything, but go ahead.
No, we've got a special visit from Greg Jennings.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
He'll be here next week.
Oh.
So take a listen from Greg, who he's got.
No need for the suspense. I got the Patriots defeating and upsetting the Seattle Seahawks 24-20, hoisting again their 7th Lombardi Trophy. Look, man, it is what it is. Wilds, I've been riding with you all season long. I love the tagline, doorstep of destiny. You called it. They delivered. Carry on, fellas.
That's a nice flex, Coach.
That is a nice flex.
So what's the deal? You get like a little replica trophy.
Sometimes you can get that. We didn't do the replica trophies. We had like some rings, and then our wives got pendants and
Pendants.
yeah, like a little pendant,
Oh, I thought. Oh, I was
like a
thinking
necklace.
pendants.
That was a good size.
Like they put in your just a triangle. Won the Super Bowl.
No, like a little pendant. Greg and I are, wow, we're closer than I thought. So he said what, 24-20?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said 24-21.
I'm 23-20.
Wow.
with the Patriots.
You're
And
by yourself
I-
now.
Wow, 5 Patriots, 4 Patriots.
Being the underdog can be a very powerful motivator. And I imagine that Mike is selling that aggressively in the building. And as much as we want to say that human nature shouldn't play a part even in the Super Bowl, it does. And when you're the favorite and things are tight later in the game, those expectations, you know, everybody's wondering, why aren't we ahead? Why aren't we controlling this? When you're not the favorite and things are tight late in the game, instead of giving you anxiety, it gives you juice. And that juice can carry you through.
We made the right call, bro.
So Nick, all of a sudden,
Well,
a lot to
What?
gain.
You know what? We have 40 more minutes if you want to change your pick.
Well,
It's not
you can
locked
still
in
do
until
it.
the very
Time
end.
now.
Time now for Nick's picks.
For Nick's picks.
All prop edition.
No.
Oh, it's not?
It's 3. It's the first, the game. I have Seattle covering the 4.5. They win 27-17. The analysis you
No
can
one's got
find
that.
for the last 90 minutes. And that also means if the total's 45.5 and I have a 27-17 spread, get out your little abacus, KW, add it together, that's 44. Yep. I'll take the under 45.5. Now to the fun ones. Prop bets. But don't reveal the first one yet. America. Listen to me. Everyone's going to be gambling this weekend, okay? Look for, on your favorite sports book, two-way markets. And by that I mean markets where you can bet over or under, or yes or no. If you can only bet in one direction, you have no idea if they're giving you a fair price. So just, if you have the...
Like, what's a one direction bet?
Will a player throw for more than 300 yards? Yes, plus 250. And you can't bet the no.
Oh,
so
okay.
you don't know what the fair price
Got
is.
it.
A two-way market is Sam Darnold over under 232.5 passing yards. Like, you know,
I thought there
that's
was
where they're
always a yes
setting
or
it
no.
at. And
Gotcha.
so, with that said, KW's going to hate my first bet. Under 2.5 receiving yards, Travion Henderson. He doesn't catch passes in the playoffs. He's not on the field during passing plays.
I don't hate that at all.
Okay, I thought you would hate it because you obviously, here's the only issue with betting under 2.5. The bet's never locked. At any point, he can be on stone zero the whole game and one little play and you lose. But
It's either going to be under 2.5 or over 40.
sure, right. And so this is really a bet that he's not going to catch a pass in the game. Under 2.5 receiving yards, Travion Henderson. I'm also going with another under of a small number. Under Sam Darnold rushing yards, 5.5.
Oh, you dirty dog. I know what you're going to about. I know what, Coach.
I would personally like to find, would someone like to create a market for me for Sam Darnold to finish with negative rushing yards? Because if my guy doesn't scramble at all, you know what we're going to have at the end of the game? Kneel down. Kneel down. -1, -2. Listen, Darnold's not a scrambler. 12 games this year, or 11 games this year, he has had 5 or less rushing yards. Half the games he had 0 or negative. Even if he runs for one time for 8 or 9 yards, this bet is alive because kneel downs count as negatives if if they're kneeling down at the end. While I think Drake May might run for 50, I don't think Darnold's running for 5. So under 5.5. And then the bet that I told you guys yesterday, this is again just for fun, over 2.5 players to attempt to pass. You win this bet if, sadly, if a quarterback gets hurt, obviously, and backup has to come in. But that's not why you bet it. You bet it because every time there's a chance for a trick play, you can just win. Any double pass, any fake punt, any instance where a non-quarterback throws the ball, you win. You're going to get plus money on this anywhere you bet it, usually about plus 160. Over 2.5 players attempt to pass. You know Josh McDaniel's been cooking something up
Dusty,
in the lab.
who was throwing passes in last year's Super Bowl? That one hit last year.
It hits every year.
Yeah.
It feels like
it wasn't a trick play, though.
What?
Last year that hit. When Kenny Pickett got in the game.
He threw passes. They put in their backup quarterback.
Did he throw passes, Dust?
Is that what happened?
He did. Dusty said yes.
I was out walking the dog.
He was in for a long time.
Yeah.
He was in early.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's halftime, right?
Do you have a lock here?
Yeah, of course.
What is it? It's Darnold under
The
rushing
Seahawks
yards.
under 4, or Seahawks minus 4.5.
Oh, okay.
The Seahawks are going to be up 7 at halftime, up 10 going into the fourth quarter, and you're going to be hitting decline on my FaceTimes.
How have your picks been through the playoffs? I haven't followed that.
They didn't put it up there,
not
Coach.
good,
How have your
Coach.
upset alerts been for the playoffs? I supported you.
Fantastic. I'm just saying, you said it's a lock.
been
I'm
pretty
just
bad.
curious what the...
Now, Danny, ask Danny
ask
about
Danny.
him.
Marcus is cooking. Yeah, he had that Herbert pick. All of a sudden he's MVP, but when the Patriots beat him.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.